Hey guys, Michael Weiser here, your favorite filmmaker. If you haven't subscribed yet, please click the subscribe button, share my content. If it's synonymous with your values, we're making movies, psychological thrillers, horrors, comedies, you name it, educational cooking videos with delicious recipes. So please subscribe, share, tell your friends and family. I have some good news in regards to The Mindful Chef, the cooking show that I did quite some time ago, focusing on recipes that alleviate symptoms of autism, mostly in children that have autism or even adults that have autism. But I say children because we had a special guest star named Clara on there, and she taste tested someone who's very near and dear to my heart, her and her mother and brother both. So, and people are finally picking it up. I started making YouTube shorts out of it, and people are digging it. And all I want is to help these families and children and adults that have these challenging diagnoses, because we're in a world where the system is not helping these people. There's no support, there's no care. And even extracurricular activities cost even more money for these people, which is absurd. And it is one of the most challenging circumstances you can ever be dealt. All you want to do is help your sick kid, help your child. You want to help your family member who's struggling with this. And right now, the numbers are 1 in 36 children are diagnosed with some sort of autism disorder. And it's increased. It's increased. It used to be 1 in 44. It's crazy. So we really have to take a look at diet, at dietary related inventions, environmental toxins. By no degree am I any sort of specialist, other than that I have common sense. I can educate myself with unbiased information and look at things. And certain things are not right as far as what's been going on, and as far as correlative with the rise in cases of autism, along with an array of all different sort of disorders such as ADD, ADHD, all correlative to the gut and to the brain. So with Mindful Chef, we're creating recipes that basically work with your body, just natural-based healthy foods that work synergistically with your body's innate healing tools and help heal your gut, because we know by now, as science has concluded, that our gut and mind are connected, very well connected. And we don't even need to have any sort of case studies upon that. Just intuitively, when you get sick to your stomach, what happens? Your mind and body are connected. That's the simplest thing, and that's a fact. And I'll be the first one to tell you, because I just got over being sick. And my whole body was just so tense because I suffered some emotional infliction, more so to my own mind, but practice what you preach as a spiritual, as someone who practices spirituality and the connection to the divine, the universe, God, nature, whatever you want to conceptually label it. But I'm far from perfect, so I'm just here to give the message to you, just to be your best self and be kind to yourself and spread peace, love, and kindness. But yeah, on that note, Mindful Chef, check it out if you haven't checked it out. If you love cooking, these recipes are easy and great to follow along. If you know someone that has autism, a family member that has autism, or other families that have children that have autism, please share this with them, because it could be very useful and vital to them to help them introduce some healthy foods, because we all know that the public education system and their foods that they supply these children are absolutely atrocious and disgusting. They're almost not even food. They're heavily processed, and people would think that this doesn't attribute to the brain and to the body, but it most definitely does. Again, I'm not a doctor, and we are on YouTube speaking, so I have to choose my words carefully, because I've been censored many times on YouTube, amongst other sort of platforms that aren't really true advocates of free speech. But either way, I'm very grateful for what I'm able to say here and to be able to talk to you. So sorry if I pause and try and think. I'm not on Rumble or X here. So yeah, according to the CDC, 1 in 36 children in the United States have an autism spectrum disorder. So the numbers are rather high. We can attribute to that, as I said, to a number of things. I'm going to attribute it to things of basic knowledge. Feel free to comment and leave what you think is attributed to all this rise in children that have autism. There has been an introduction of certain products that are come 2020 that have been introduced to the public that are expediting an array of neurological problems and not just neurological problems, but an array of all different sort of diseases. Again, I'm trying to choose my words carefully here. It's not the funnest, but it is what it is. Ever since something was mandated previously, not so much anymore, but again, this is all I don't want to say correlative because it's been concluded by the CDC amongst other governing bodies. So what I speak to you is merely my own opinion and my own research, and I'm just here to give you guys alternate, unbiased sources of experience, knowledge, and opinion. So this country, we do have a big health problem, which is why it would be nice to make America healthy once again, because 1 in 2 Americans have a chronic disease. 129 people in the United States have at least one chronic disease. That's half the population. That's a lot of people, dude. That's why I like to make these culinary videos with quick, easy recipes, because it's much needed in today's society, not just in the United States, but throughout the world. And cooking is everything. You know, cooking with your family, cooking with your friends, it's a beautiful thing to connect you to the earth. It's much needed. And I recommend to try it and do it more. And you'll get better at it if you're wary of not being good in the kitchen or a good chef or a good cook. It's not a big deal, man. It's not a big deal at all. Because with presence comes productivity. And if you're present in the kitchen and you're just enjoying it and not overthinking it, you'll get better. You'll get better quick. And you'll be able to feed your family and friends some delicious things. So the number is rising, people with chronic diseases, amongst other things, and which leads to healthcare costs and that never-ending cycle of money-making schemes that have been definitely heavily capitalized upon in governments and collusion with big corporations, unfortunately. But hey, what can you do? Chronic diseases are the major driver of healthcare costs, and chronic diseases are the major driver of healthcare costs, and they account for 90% of the $4.1 trillion spent on healthcare in the United States each year. Dude, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And it's very easy. It's very easy to not follow any diet other than just to eat foods that you can see and read the ingredients. Have produce, have unprocessed stuff, meat, vegetables, fruits, fish, wild fish preferably. Did I say fruit? Fruit, yes. Raw dairy, where you can get it. You can get raw cheeses basically anywhere. I don't know where raw cheeses are banned in this country. You can't get raw milk and raw kefir. That's another story. But hey, the current institutions put in place are basically there to, it's seemingly, keep you sick. Because the leading cause of death in the United States is heart disease, and Coca-Cola is the #1 backer for the American Heart Association. So it's a little weird there. And we know high fructose corn syrup has been concluded as absolutely atrocious for your liver and for your body, and may be one of the factors leading to all these different chronic disease. And yeah, maybe. But these are, again, based on government studies that I'm also citing, that I have read, and prestigious medical journals and research and NIH and all that stuff. So I'm not just talking out of the blue here. I don't have specific studies to reference. I'd like you to do your own homework if you can make the time. If not, it's cool. There's other people that have great sources. This isn't my job. Again, I'm promoting my movies, my cooking shows, and myself as an artist. But I also want to help you in the process. So 5 of the top 10 leading causes of death in the United States, as I said, are heart disease, cancer, stroke, and actually the third leading cause of death in the United States is medical error, or at least it was not so long ago, but I'm sure it's up there, which is rather frightening. But hey, can't have it all. The current institutions are put in place to most likely keep you sick. This is why we need some sort of change. It's very obvious that something is not right here. As you go to the grocery stores and you see children on the spectrum, like a high number of children on the spectrum, that you see all these people, almost every other person is incredibly obese, overweight, and just unhealthy. They look like they're one foot in the grave. But the most important thing, I feel, even more so than chronic disease, right now there are so many unnecessary wars going on. And I'm a man of peace, love, and kindness. We do not need to put our tax-paying money to war. It's like you're paying we have no choice but to pay taxes. They say it's a right or a duty, it's a duty, but it's not. You have a right to pay taxes. It'd be nice if we had a say as to where our taxes go. Because right now it's going to the pockets of villainous people who only care about greed, and they don't care about healthy people. They don't care about our children. They don't care about people within the American society or within the United States. They don't care about their homeless veterans wandering in California and New York, nor do they care about all of these illegal now citizens coming into this country and unfortunately taking away from people who have been here much longer and are in much need of help. There is a frightening realization as to why this is happening. There's a frightening realization as to why these people don't want you to show voter ID. There's a frightening realization as to why they are advocating for these horrible reassignment surgeries for children, which I feel is really, truly sickening and not right. A child is a child, blind of any gender, whatever it is. You're a kid. That's all you need to focus on. However you want to be, who you want to be and dress, that's fine. But you're just a child. You don't need to even think about what you have or what you are. You're just a kid. You know, that's the thing. We're so fixated upon what's on the outside and our identification with that. We need to go deeper as to what's on the inside and truly just love ourselves and love our neighbor. Love thy neighbor. It's such an essential thing. It really is. Right, Bailey? Bailey knows it. For the first time, we're going beyond political parties in the upcoming elections, which is vibrantly refreshing because we've gone beyond the collective dogmas and we're truly seeking unity by what's beyond right for the individual and to keep the innate and God-given freedoms in mind while guarding this vital piece of paper, the Constitution, that protects us from the tyrants that oppose it, that are trying to change it. It's amazing that a historic piece of paper can be so essential for us. I've been censored as a filmmaker and a peaceful rebel against the establishment for quite some time, for many years. And I want nothing more than just to spread free speech, unity, love, and kindness. In other countries, freedom of speech is becoming outlawed, and people are being fined and arrested. We're at a frightening time where we need to join together and put our political, even religious, any sort of differences aside, our race, and look at each other as human beings and what's good for us and what's good for our children and for our families and friends, and really question the establishment that's been governing us. Because I would like to know, do you really think that the government is protecting you? Do you think that them wanting you to hear one source of information is not fishy? Because I find it very odd. I don't think it's for your best interest. That's my opinion. Because the source that benefits from this one way of thought is merely the people that pulls the strings of these politicians and controls them and profits immensely. And basically, not basically, they are your investors. You know, our tax money is going to these people, and we're investing in essentially our own destruction involuntarily. I know you don't want that. I know I don't want that. So I'm definitely for change. I'm definitely for something that is going to bring about a deeper sense of unity and peace. And so this way artists like me can convey this message and spread it to you and to your family members, and have lovely movies hosting on here for free that show a different light upon what society is going, that show a different light upon where society is going, that exploit corruption, and to point the arrow in, and to make you take a look at yourself and everything around you. Not to point blame, but to peacefully talk, to peacefully discourse, to peacefully agree to disagree, while protecting our individual rights and working communally to essentially heal the world, because you can only start grassroots, you can only start within a community, within a nation, and everything else manifests. With that being said, I'm Michael Loiza. I'm a filmmaker, and thank you very much for listening to me. Please like, subscribe, share my content if you dig it. I got plenty of cooking shows. I have free movies that I act, write, and direct, and do a slew of things, even camera work and sound, like I'm doing now. And please, share my stuff if you dig it, because I wish for you guys to go see me in the movie theaters and to get my movies into the movie theaters, because I love movies, and I love movie theaters despite them being a dying, historic sort of notion of nostalgia, but it's okay. We'll keep them alive. So thank you for listening. Have a beautiful day. Take care.